I'm not going to deny it. There's been a lot of memories and a lot of important moments in my life, a lot of puzzles solved in the back of Honor 1. Here I am in my garage, but one of the most important conversations of my life took place today in a Chevy Malibu license 353 Caesar. Render unto what is Caesar's. And I guess the puzzling, cryptic quote of the night is how much can change in just a couple of hours. I mean, I had the most amazing day with my grandma riding around in Honor 1. It was an awesome, awesome day. And then just hours after that was done, I had probably the most intense conversation I've had in a long, long time inside of that Chevy Malibu. I'm going to leave Honor 1 in the stable today, and I'm going to go for a little walk. It's well after midnight. It's a new day. Let me see if I can get my little pen light on my watch. So, see if I can get this on there. So it's just going on 1 a.m. It's now Thursday, and I'm taking to the streets. I got an extra pack of batteries in my fanny pack. Bravo's coming with me, of course. And where am I gonna go? Well, where the night takes me, of course, but I'm going to Walmart. It seems I'm spending a lot of time at Walmart lately. And I'm guessing since it's 1 in the morning, there aren't going to be many people out and about on the city streets of Neenah, so they probably won't mind much if I walk brazenly down the middle of the street with my camera running. Maybe I'll run into an officer of the law doing such, and that wouldn't be such a bad thing. It wouldn't be such a bad thing. I'm thinking that most people, if someone was outside on the sidewalk and listening to me, they probably would assume that I'm talking on a cell phone, and maybe on speakerphone because I have the phone kind of away from my face. I don't know how well I'm going to be seen in the dark, but yeah, how much can change in a matter of a few hours. Yesterday I spent the day with my grandma. We hopped in Honor 1. We went and saw my baby niece. I got to introduce my grandma to my little sister for the first time today. Today is the first time my grandmother ever met my little sister. Now, that seems kind of strange, but being a child of divorce makes me one of those family stories where I have 2 families, 2 Christmases, 2 birthdays, that sort of thing. Today's garbage day, by the way, so there's a lot of garbage on the road, and I'm hoping that my eyes are sharp enough for me to pick up a cigarette pack or 2 on my way to Walmart. So even though the camera might be off at various angles, my eyes are scoping the ground for cigarette packs, because I really, really need to do some writing right now. And having just 1 cigarette pack to put in my pocket is going to make a big difference, because then I can write a letter and write and write and write I shall, but I don't know who that letter is going to go to. My guess is if I walk all the way to Walmart, I'm going to find myself a pack of cigarettes somewhere along the way, even though it is pitch dark out tonight. So what an awesome day. It was an amazing day. We went to Dairy Queen. I had hot dogs. Grandma and I shared a blizzard. My grandma got to meet Donkey Killer, and that's a work in progress. I don't know what my sister's boyfriend's nickname is really going to be. That's a sock. That's a baby's sock in the middle of the road. That is not a cigarette pack. I don't know who I got to write a letter to for finding a baby's sock in the middle of the road, but it's not a cigarette pack. And thank goodness, hump day. Well, it used to be hump day, and well, my answer has been laid clear. it looks like I'll be writing Captain Bill a letter. I'll be writing Captain Bill a letter. And this is such a soggy, nasty pack of Camels. Oh my gosh. I gotta find a place of honor in that in my pocket. I definitely don't want to lose my car keys, but alright, I feel much better. I was down to I think I had only 2 packs of Camels left. I might have to stick this one in the microwave and dry it out some. But it is soggy, it is nasty. But alright, first mission accomplished. And that is to get my pack of cigarettes so I can write a letter. The train is moving on. I love the night. I love the night. This is my time. This is my time. I took a little nap. It was an emotional day. From extreme high-end awesome emotions, you know, I had this great overwhelming sense of pride in my heart that you know, Grandma had a really, really bad day 2 days ago now, and I said to myself, what I'm going to do today is give Grandma an awesome, an amazing day. And I did. I really did. I worked hard. We went to Dairy Queen. We saw my brother. We saw little Caitlin. We got some dinner and dessert at Dairy Queen. We went to Hobby Lobby. I even drove her around my workplace. Got to show her all the buildings at work. Went to the credit union. Got some $2 bills for my little sister for her congratulations for skipping sophomore altogether occasion. It's not very often in college you go from freshman to junior instantly, but she did it, so I had to reward such nonsense with a big stack of $2 bills. I gave her loot, which included the tennis rackets, tennis balls, and the puzzle. And that puzzle is why I'm headed back to Walmart. You know, sometimes we're given puzzles in life and we can't figure them out. We just can't figure them out. But that doesn't mean we won't. Like, I'm puzzled. I'm puzzled. I went and had this awesome day with Grandma, and I was down in the basement, and I just had finished writing up an email to my beloved friend Miss Popsicle Paws. Ooh, distracted. Do I need to get a motorcycle? No, probably not. I should get a moped to save on gas. But anyway, I just wrote this awesome email to my friend Miss Popsicle Paws about what a wonderful and amazing day I had with Grandma. In fact, I just sent it off, felt good about myself, and I heard the screen door upstairs open and shut. Now, when you have a grandma that is prone to wander, your ear gets tuned to such things. So I went outside, I talked to Ma and said, where's Grandma? So we looked for Grandma, and she was gone, just gone. And that's never a good feeling. It's never a good feeling. So Ma looked around the house, she looked around the yard, and I started walking around the neighborhood looking for Grandma. And she was gone. And turns out she was hiding inside of her car. She was kind of crouched down in the front seat, you know, just trying to be avoided by the world. And when we found her, she was going through her CDs. She has a CD player in her Chevy Malibu. And she said, oh, you know, I'm just looking through my CDs, you know, for music. And I said, Grandma, you know, do you want me to get you a CD player for your room so you can listen to some music? And she said, you know, it's not going to be my room anymore. So Grandma and I had a very, very emotional and heart-to-heart conversation in that Chevy Malibu, which was quite the opposite emotion of what I had been feeling just minutes before. I mean, I went from feeling super elated and super happy that I made a really great day and a great memory for Grandma and me, to puzzled. That is what I am feeling right now, is puzzled. Man, I need to get me a bike. There's a dude on a bike there. I'd already been to Walmart and back by now, but it'd probably be very difficult to do these videos on a bike. And I'm probably about halfway to Walmart. I got a ways to go. But so I went from total the emotion of being satisfied, happy, and content to complete puzzled and bewilderment. And I'm supposed to go into work today, and I really don't think I can go into work again today. I think I need to be there for my grandma. She's sound asleep now. She's out like a light, but I needed to walk. I needed to get some air and think out loud. And maybe that's what this video today is going to be about, is thinking out loud. Is what am I going to do? Grandma just is not happy, and that's a hard thing for me to deal with. She's depressed and sad, and maybe even having a really great day like we did, because there's no doubt that she had a great day. My brother, who's a straight shooter, told me, he said, wow, she's doing really good. I think everybody is kind of wondering how bad off my grandma is. She's still sharp as a tack. She's still got a lot of living to do, and she's having to surrender a lot of her freedoms and a lot of her independence, and it's really kind of crushing her awesome spirit, and it's breaking my heart. It's really breaking my heart. Like that Chevy Malibu of hers, she loves that car, and it's going to get to the point now where Mom and I are going to have to hide the car keys so she doesn't, Thelma and Louise us, grab Bravo and put him in the passenger side and just take off and drive until the tank is empty, She's a dramatic, romantic soul, and I don't know what to do. I talked to my ma after Grandma and I had our talk in the car, and I know for a fact that my beloved grandma wasn't sleeping. She was probably ninja'd up next to her bedroom door with a cup against the door to listen to what we were saying, and I wish she would have just, been out in the room with us, because I don't like talking behind people's backs. I never do. But we got a lot of the family. It's a divided issue, A lot of the family wants Grandma to stay with me and my ma, where we can keep a close eye on her and try to keep her happy and healthy. And some of the rest of the family want her to go into an assisted living environment with custodial care, which basically means locks, keys, and like goodbye sweet freedom. And that's the last thing I want for my grandma. I really do. I think that's gonna, Grandma has the blessing / curse of longevity. I think everybody in her family is still alive. I mean, she's got family members in their 90s going on 100s type thing, and I think Grandma has 10 more years, good years of, totally being with it, being sharp as a tack, and I don't want those 10 years to drag out like a blade, being lonely and feeling like a burden on society, or a burden on her family. And I can tell that's what's weighing on her heart. Is if I had a nickel for every time she says, you should, kick me to the curb and find a beautiful woman and have a family, I'd be a rich man, and I could afford a chauffeured limousine to Walmart today. But she doesn't realize that the woman that I want would really think that taking care of my grandma is pretty cool, you know, and that would be an attractant, not a determinant. There's Century 21. I'll probably be using this sign again in a video in the near future, because what used to be Century 21 is now a tanning booth salon, and I might have to do a documentary in a tanning booth about getting burnt. Because I imagine if I used a tanning booth, I would get burnt. No doubt about it. Alright, so where was I? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out this puzzle, what I'm going to do with Grandma. Now, I gave that puzzle to my little sister, and I gave that puzzle to her paramour, Donkey Killer. I don't know if Donkey Killer, if that name's going to stick, but that's all I got right now, Donkey Killer. And I asked, you know, when they were finished completing it, if we could have it and borrow it and put it together ourselves, because Grandma loved putting puzzles together with 80. And there's number 2. This one's soggy too. Alright, so maybe I'll get the right 2 letters today. One to Captain Bill, and maybe another one to Miss Popsicle Paws. Miss Popsicle Paws and I are kind of like each other's therapists, I think, because even people with the greatest gifts in the world sometimes have puzzles that they can't solve alone, and this is one of them. We're going to probably talk to my grandma's doctor tomorrow. I'm gonna have to call up my boss and talk to him tomorrow. Like 24 hours from right now, I'm supposed to be working a night shift overtime. A friend of mine sent me a message on Facebook that said, dude, just so you know, you've been forced for overtime, so you have to work the night shift on the 19th, and it is the 19th now, so 24 hours from now, I'm supposed to be at work, working extra hours. Maybe I can do that, but my grandma needs me right now, and she's sound asleep right now, so I think I could work night shift okay, but I don't know if I'll be able to work in the afternoon tomorrow. My guess is we're going to try to get an emergency session in with her doctor, and I'm glad this roundabout is vacant, because I could probably get lost here and walk around this thing for an hour and a half. I don't know how pedestrians are supposed to navigate the roundabout. There's this red section here that in the wintertime cars accidentally drive on, but I think I can walk on this. I don't know if this is meant for pedestrians or not, but pass down those green lights way down there. That's where Walmart is. And seeing as I'm going on 18 minutes of film, this is going to be quite the long video. Quite the long video indeed. But, so tomorrow, we're going to call my grandma's doctor, and I'm going to call my boss and talk to him and tell him I really can't make it in tonight, or today, this afternoon, because Grandma is kind of venting her spleen on my poor mom. My poor mom is doing her best to try to provide a loving and caring, safe environment for Grandma that's best for her interests. And Grandma is kind of a rebel yet, you know, and doesn't like being told what to do, and doesn't like her freedom being taken away. So it's really a tough situation for my ma, and my poor ma. Like, my grandma's kind of giving her the hand, you know, talk to the hand. She won't even talk to her now, so I don't want to get a phone call at work that says, you know, my ma calls and says, you know, Grandma just got sick of me. She packed her hobo pack, grabbed a can of beans, and hit the road, you know. That's not what I'm going to want to hear. So that cigarette pack? I don't think so. So it's a tough call. It's an ethical call, and of course my mom's now worried that I'm going to lose my job. I mean, I'm in hot water up to my ears as far as my job goes. Trying to make the world a better place does include Winnebago mental health, but people just don't like what I'm serving. And sadly, all I have to offer is the truth. And like I've said many times, the truth is not always pretty, but that's the path I walk. I don't candy coat. I tell the truth. And the truth is that this arrangement with my mom, with Grandma, and me might be doomed to fail. And that doesn't do me well, because I'm a never give up, never surrender type guy. And I told my mom and I told my grandma both that, we've been living together as a family for about 6 months now. It's been about 6 months. And we know we can get along together. That's obvious because we've done it. It's been 6 months and nobody's been, unhappy to the point where there's no way that this arrangement can continue. But I said what we really need is a tune-up. I know Honor 1 could use a tune-up. It's running a little rough. If you go back a few videos, you'll see me standing outside of Honor 1 next to a handicap sign, and you can hear that Honor 1 is running rough. And right now, our household is running rough, but that doesn't mean that it can't be tuned up, fixed, saved, and back into prime working condition again. It's just going to take a little work. It's going to take a little effort. I think what I need to do, and what I'm going to tell the doctor and tell the counselor, is we need to, all of us, that's my mom, myself, and Grandma, make a list at what's important to us for happiness. Having that information is going to be vital, I think. Kind of like a 3-ring circus. We got the Grandma Act, we got my act, and we got Mom's act. And we got to see how those 3 circus acts overlap. Areas that we all enjoy together, areas that we can't stand of each other. I know that my mom's not a big fan of me jump roping for 5.5 hours in the garage, so I wouldn't ask her to, hey, come on out and jump rope with me for 5.5 hours. That just would not do well for her happiness. And what makes me very nervous and very apprehensive is when we sit down with a piece of paper and say to Grandma, okay, Grandma, let's make the list of what makes you happy. Is that she's going to flatline on us and realize, what? There's just nothing in this world that makes me happy. And that's gonna be a hard moment for me to deal with if it happens. And I'm hoping that's not true, because seeing my baby niece today made her happy. She didn't get to hold the baby, and I'm hoping that does get to happen sometime in the future. But just spending time around that little baby, that little miracle, maybe it was emotionally too much for Grandma. I don't know. Maybe it was too much for her heart to deal with. And maybe it realized, how close she is, to the end of her journey. And it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle, and it's one that I can't figure out by myself. So that's why we're going to go get some help. I think it's really important that the counselor that we get for Grandma is someone that's very kind and very trusting, not someone that uses big words and likes to, showcase how smart they are. What the heck is that? That is not a cigarette pack. We need a kind person that Grandma can trust. I think that's more important than having 15 degrees in psychology or whatever and whatnot. Kindness sometimes is more important than smarts, because as much as many therapists will hate to admit it, their first and most important job is listening. Talking, not so much. Listening is the most important part for a therapist. So at least that's what I've found in my experience. Listen a lot, talk a little, and when you talk, make sure you know what you're saying and make sure the person understands what you're saying. So, all right, how long have I been walking? 26 minutes. So that must mean it's darn near close to 2 miles to Walmart. I'm not walking overly fast today, but I know right where I'm going. Look at that. Things happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason. Now, what I'm going to do is when I get into Walmart, when I cross the starting line of Walmart, I think I'm going to stop this video and then maybe I'll start it up again. Because for some reason my camera likes to turn itself off, and then all of a sudden everything that I've recorded is lost. That's happened a couple times, so I don't know if this camera is going bad or cough syrup. So here I am at Walmart, and I'm gonna turn this off, save the data, and then continue where I left off.